A very good day to all of you from Amit Kumar Mehta. Today we are going to discuss an offbeat topic, yet very important from your point of view of examination, how to score 90% and above in your term and examinations. This video will try to cover the tips, tricks and strategies of toppers which ensures that they keep on scoring high, scoring their A grade in all the examinations that they face throughout their life. We'll be giving you live examples. We'll be showing you their answer sheets of how these toppers write their examination, and that is the reason why they keep on scoring more every time they give an examination. We'll be discussing this in two particular parts. One part will be before the examinations, what are the strategies that you must be adopting before the examinations, and what are the strategies you can do during the examination. So the last part of this particular video will be very important, where I'll be showing you real life example answer sheets of the toppers. So stay with me as I keep on guiding you through this particular presentation. Now Pareto gave a particular example of 80-20 rule. He said that 80% of the land in Italy was owned by 20% of the population. So basis of this particular observation, he found out that 80-20 rule is applicable in most of the situations. Even for your examination, you can use this particular rule. You can prioritize basis of 80-20 rule. Do you think that the syllabus of engineers, doctors and UPSC toppers is a small syllabus? No, it's a very huge syllabus. Their syllabus runs into hundreds of pages, and that because of that they need to prioritize. The need arises that they prioritize things. So they focus only on the important. They look at the guest questions for the last 10 years. They look at the important sections. They look at the notes that they have been provided by the good coaching institutes, and they focus only on the important 80%. So for any examination that you're going to face, you have to focus on the 80% only. Do not focus on the entire 100%. Focus on the important 80% and play smart with the other 20%. I'll be telling you how to play smart in a few whiles from now. Stay with me. Now, the best way to learn, the second tip from us before the examination, these are strategies that you have to use before the examination. The best way to learn is to teach. Joseph Joubert said to teach is to learn twice over. So when you are teaching, you are learning a particular concept twice. So just imagine if you have learned something twice, your performance in the examination will definitely improve. Now the teaching method of learning is the method that the engineers, the doctors and all those people who stay in hostels and do group studies study. You would agree with that. They learn they divide the entire book into a set of 8 to 10 students. They learn those chapters and they explain it to the other students who have not learned that chapter. And basis of this particular method, they can study for one night before the examination and they score very good marks in the examination. So this is one of the best ways in which you can learn, teach somebody. Go into a group study, teach somebody that particular topic, and that topic will be absolutely crystal clear for you for the examination. Tip number 2. Moving on to tip number 3, you have to vary your learning style. See, everybody is not a visual learner. Everybody does not have a photographic memory. Some people learn by listening. Some people learn by looking at YouTube videos. Some people learn by reading the books. If they do not read books, they will not be able to understand. There are some people who feel comfortable when they have written a particular answer, summarized a particular answer. So there are various learning styles, and you have to vary your learning style depending upon what kind of a student you are. Also, in the entire process, you have to ensure that you use a mixture of all these strategies. Just for example, if you have to read a particular concept, don't just read it. Go and watch a YouTube video on it. Go and summarize it, write it down. The more number of senses you use, eyes, ears, handwriting, your nose, the number of senses, increase the number of senses, and you will definitely be able to remember that particular concept, that learning for a very long time. So vary your learning style was tip number 3. Now in the entire process of learning and scoring more, people forget to rest. People forget to play. People just keep on working. So that is also not a brain friendly way of actually studying. The brain requires that you be involved in ample amount of rest, you be involved in ample amount of play. If these two things are not happening, your brain is not functioning optimally. If you just keep on thinking that before the examination you will just put in those hours, all-nighters before the night, and you will go and score very good marks. That is not true. So you have to create a perfect balance between all these three. The perfect balance, as you know, this is an indicative particular categorization: 8 hours of labor, 8 hours of recreation, 8 hours of rest. This is how you divide your 24 hours into three compartments, and you give equal priority to all of them. These numbers can change for individual students, but please ensure that you work, rest and play all combined. You cannot just keep on working, because your brain will not function properly at that point of time. The next concept is, you have to understand that 1 year is equal to 365 opportunities. You have to ensure that if you keep on getting just 1% better every day, it is not required that you keep on putting 4 hours of work, 5 hours of study, 7, 8 hours of study. You have to just ensure that you give 1%, you become 1% better than what you were yesterday. And then you will see a J curve in your life. If you just keep on getting 1% better than what you were actually yesterday, you will see a J curve of in your life in terms of growth and the results that you will have after a year. Do you know the number of times you will multiply your efforts? If you just keep on improving by 1% on a daily basis for 365 days, you will be 37 times better at the year end. So you need not study the entire syllabus for every day. You need not study the entire concept for every day. You have to just ensure that you keep on getting better, one concept at a day, 1% better at a day on a daily basis. Now this is called dominoes effect actually. 1% better daily is just dominoes effect. Small efforts on a daily basis taken can yield you big results. Just look at the figure that we have provided on the right hand side. One small piece of cube, a rectangle, can actually make the bigger cube or bigger rectangle fall down because of dominoes effect. You are just getting 1% better on a daily basis, a small effort that you are taking, but it is going to yield you a very good result at the day end. So you have to remember this particular fact whenever you are studying. Just keep on getting better than yesterday by 1%. Now this particular concept is also very, very important. You have to start thinking like a teacher or an examiner. The moment you switch the gear, but the moment you stop being a student and start looking at the whole examination, the whole learning from a teacher's point of view, from the examiner's point of view, the entire concept of your scoring or studying will change. You'll start looking at things. If you were the teacher, imagine what would you have asked, what would you have taught, what would you have considered is the most important part of the chapter from which questions can be framed. If you adopt that kind of mentality, even while you are studying, you will be studying for success. Otherwise, you will keep on wasting those number of hours. So start thinking like a teacher and examiner if you want to score more in an examination. Now, we'll be moving on to what are the tips and tricks that you must be doing during the examination that can ensure you good quality marks. Now, the first and the foremost thing which most of the students keep on forgetting is that you have to market your paper. You have to market your answer sheet, because the other person, the examiner who is evaluating you, does not know you. He knows you through your paper. Your product is ready. Imagine you have studied the entire year. Your product is now ready. You are ready to deliver. It's time now to sell. Now, as if you have to go for an interview, what will you wear? You will wear a suit, you will wear a tie, you will wear corporate attire, you will wear presentable clothes, and you will be most presentable yourself. But most of the students, while writing the examination, they just forget this particular concept. They do not market their paper. You have to ensure that your paper looks as clean and as good as if you are going for an interview. Your paper is going for an interview. So if you can do that, you will ensure, you will find out that the results will automatically follow. Good results will automatically follow. In the next few slides, I will show you the examination copies of the toppers. Do you know the best part of the entire deal when you market your paper? The examiner has no clue about you. He does not know what was your score in class 10th. He does not know what was your score in class 12th. He does not know you at all. He knows whatever he knows about you through your particular paper. So you have to ensure your paper looks meticulously clear, crystal clear, and you give him what he actually desires. And if you give him what he actually desires, you will get what you actually desire, and what you actually desire is good marks, and you will definitely get that. Now you have to ensure that your paper is visually, aesthetically beautiful. It's presentable, it looks perfect. So you have to ensure visual aesthetics in your answer sheet. How do you do that? You have to ensure, and you'll find out that 60% of the population, even including you, are visual learners. We learn through our eyes, and it is very easy for us to process the images compared to text. So you have to ensure that your particular answer sheet looks completely visually appealing. Do you know that your 90% of your memory is visual in nature? So you have to ensure that your paper also speaks visually, because 60,000 times faster is how visual memories or visual papers answer sheets are processed by our brain. So you have to ensure that your paper looks as clean as possible, as neat as possible, as good as possible. Now social media is a biggest proof of what I am talking over here. If you put a post which is very long in length, if you write a WhatsApp message which is very long in length, nobody is going to read it. But if you include a picture in that particular post that you're posting, you will definitely get more likes and more views. You would have experienced that already. So do that with your papers also. We'll be telling you the tips and tricks in a short while. Now, getting good marks depends on three factors. The first one is displaying your knowledge in the answer sheet. You have to display the knowledge that you have in your answer sheet. That is 80% of the weightage, which is very huge. The second and the most important one is, the second factor is hiding your ignorance. You can hide your ignorance. Yes, I'm saying that you can hide your ignorance. It carries 15% weightage. And I'll be telling you in this particular video how do you hide your ignorance. And the third factor is luck factor, which will be, leaving it for the time being, because when you are better prepared, when you are best prepared, opportunity will always strike you and you will always be getting good marks. When success is when opportunity meets preparation, is what we say. So if you have prepared well, opportunities will keep on coming, you will get good grades. But you have to ensure that you keep on hiding your ignorance, and that we'll be trying to tell you in the next few slides. Now just imagine, I told you that, look at, if you have to go for an interview, and just imagine these are the two presentations. Whom will you particularly choose? You will definitely choose the left hand side. You have to understand that it takes only 7 seconds to make a good first impression. And your paper, if it is not able to make this first good impression, definitely you are not going to get good marks. So your answer sheet cannot be shabby like the right side answer sheet that we are showing in this particular diagram, in this particular visual. So what are the things that you can do? You have to understand, you have to know the examiner properly. Who is your examiner? The examiner is person who is starved for time. He does not have enough time to correct your paper. Hands on heart, he will maximum spend 2 to 3 minutes in your paper. You have studied for your entire year and he is going to spend only 2 to 3 minutes in your paper. So imagine, he is totally starved for time. He does not have much time for your paper, and because of that he will do certain kind of errors which ideally he should not be doing, but that is a fact of life. He does not have much incentive for paper checking. He's not getting paid enough. It's a dull and boring job. So understand, it's not a very interesting job that he's doing, and he's not getting paid enough for that also in most of the times. So if you are using good quality words, if you're using good vocabulary, if you're using excess content, do not be under the impression that he's going to read each and every line of your answer. Maybe he does not have the time, maybe he's not getting much incentives, and because it's a dull and boring job, because he has to evaluate around 100-200 copies, you have to ensure that quality vocabulary and excess content is not there. Rather, what you have to focus on is visually making it appealing, making it easy for the examiner to evaluate your paper. So if these are the problems that the examiner is facing, then he will be looking for shortcuts to evaluate you. He'll be looking at the mistakes. Any single mistake that you commit, he will pinpoint that, he will make it round with his red circle, and he will cut marks for that. He's looking for mistakes, he's looking for errors, he's looking for format problems. If the formats are not right, if there are errors in your paper, you are sure shot not getting good marks in that particular paper. That's for sure. So what are the things that you can do? So how do you win the particular enemy? Over here, the enemy is our examiner. Your answer sheets should speak for who you are. Make it easy for the examiner. The easier the life of an examiner will be, the better your chances of scoring more in the examination. Making the best initial impressions. Bad handwriting versus good presentation. Even if you have a bad handwriting, ensure that your presentation is good, and so that your handwriting does not make much of a difference. Even if your bad handwriting is there, make it neat and legible for it. You have to ensure that your visually enriched papers are there. Now in any particular long answer that you have to answer, follow some ground rules. Have an introduction, a small paragraph, the definition part of it, or introducing the entire topic for a long answer. These are the ground rules. Middle should be consisting of 3 to 5 to 7 paragraphs. Those should be well structured. Using bullet points, if that is long, do not make it boring, because even if I have told you in your WhatsApp, if you forward a long message, nobody is going to read it. But if you keep on using bullet points, if you use smaller paragraphs, people will be interested in reading those paragraphs. So your middle of your answer should be consisting of well structured bullet points instead of long winded answers. You have to ensure that all your answers contain a conclusion. It should summarize the entire answer in a few words. I'll be showing you all these things in a few whiles from now. Now, visual elements, what are the visual elements you can include in long answers? You have to include tables, illustrations, graphs, diagrams, charts, flowcharts. You have to underline your answers. You have to underline the headings, subheadings. You have to use answer separators. You have to use 2-color inks plus a pencil. These are the visual elements that will add marks to your particular scorecard. Moving on. We have talked about all these things. I'll be just showing you now. Now the best part is when you can write the question along with the particular answer. Before answering the question, you have to ensure that if possible, if time permits, keep on building this habit of writing the questions also along with the answers. That is my tip number 1. This is how the intro, middle and conclusion should look like. The introduction should be a small paragraph. The body should be containing bullet points, neatly explained with subheadings if possible. And there should be a conclusion to all the answers. And use of diagrams, use of charts, use of flow charts as much as possible. You have to ensure that you leave enough space on the left hand side, right hand side, top, so that the examiner gets time and energy and the space to write something. If he has to give some feedback to you, some suggestion to you, where does he write? You have to provide enough space in your paper. This is how you can provide space. Just look at the number of gaps he has provided. This particular writer has provided. He has given one line gap between the introduction part, then something he has underlined, then the points that he is writing, he is giving a gap even in between them. Left hand side and right hand side, he has also kept some gaps. So this is very, very important. You have to ensure that you leave enough space for your examiner to make comments and to put down points that he wants to write. For even if he wants to put a mark for that particular answer, he must be able to write those marks. So you have to leave enough space. That is very, very important. These are some practical examples of how you can leave enough space so that the examiner can make the particular entries. And apart from that, it looks visually, aesthetically good. You are leaving some spaces on the left and right. Now answer section separator. You have to ensure that every section new section that you enter, you have to use a separator for that. You can use your ruler. Do not do it with your just your simple hand. Do it with a ruler and a pencil. You use answer and section separators, because this will actually help the examiner understand that this particular section is over, this particular answer is over. You have to ensure mandatory diagrams. Some of the diagrams are actually mandatory. You have to keep on, I told you, visually is 60,000 times more faster processed by any particular examiner. So you have to use as much visual in your particular explanations as much as possible. Even if this particular concept, just look at this particular social justice, it has 4 different points. You have to ensure that you make a small diagram out of it. Try to explain things visually. This is another explanation of how you can do things visually. The answer remains the same. The particular examiner could have written the entire answer in one particular paragraph, but that is not the right way of doing it. Make it visually enchanting for the particular examiner so that he does not have to work hard to find out. Look at the visual explanations. You draw a particular diagram and then you explain the entire concept in the below lines. So this will help you, increase your visual explanation. Just look at these figures. These figures will actually, you can pause the video and have a look at these various figures, and this will actually help you improve your answering and your marks in the examinations. You have to ensure tables, charts and flow charts are as much used as possible. Use them as much as possible. For all the subsections, use rectangular boxes or double underlining. Just example over here is food and shelter. Food and shelter has been put in rectangular boxes so that it becomes clear that that is a particular subsection of your answer, the middle part of the body, subsection. If you're not putting a rectangular box, do a double underlining of these particular words, food and shelter, so that the examiner is crystal clear that this is a subsection. Make life as easy as possible for the examiner. Underlining the subsection, you can do it. If it is best if you can double underline the particular subsections. Over here, availability of raw material section, subsection 1, transport facilities, subsection 2, do a double underlining. Even if your handwriting is not good, make it presentable. Now, for all the answers that you have written, you have to ensure that you keep on highlighting all the key points that you have written: 30%, 24%, 10%. Look at these three things that have been highlighted by the examiner, by the examinee, because as I told you, the examiner is going to spend only 2 to 3 minutes on your paper. So you have to ensure that each and every point that you have worked 1 year for, that you have worked 3 months for, that you have worked your entire night out for, you have to ensure that those are highlighted for the examiner, so that it becomes easy for him to understand that you have read the particular paper, you are a master on this particular craft, and so that he can easily give you good marks. So you have to highlight your answers. Now, this is one of the tips that given by Tina Dhabi. She says that pepper your answers with popular quotes on the topic, so you appear mature, sophisticated and learned. This is a tip given by IAS topper Tina Dhabi. She says that if you have read a particular topic, if you're writing an essay on a particular topic, and if you can just include a quotation from a very renowned person on that particular topic that you are writing the essay on, it will immediately improve your maturity in front of the examiner. The examiner will think this is one student who has not just studied the topic, who is also including a quotation in this particular answer to enrich this particular answer. So this is a mature student. So he deserves to be given good marks, because he's just trying to relate it with this particular concept with a popular quote on this particular topic. So this is one level up. You take your answers one level up by including quotations. So for any answer you attempt, try to incorporate, it will not always be possible. Keep some quotations ready in your hand so that you can use them in your answers to score more. The most important tip, which most of the students goof up, and this will be, I'm telling you, the most important tip of the day. Do not cross your answers. Suppose, avoid all these kinds of crosses and cuts that you make in your answer sheets. Avoid cuts like housewife, single stroke, or scribbling on it, or making a slanting cut. Do not do that. Look at the right hand side of this particular visual. There has been an error. Working executives and housewife, just in the kind of middle over here, you'll find that the housewife's word has been wrongly, the spelling is wrong. So what has the student done? The student has actually put it in brackets and has put a particular cross besides that particular bracket. So what this particular strategy will do is that when a particular examiner is looking at it at this particular answer, he will not be able to easily find out that was an error. But you are not doing anything wrong with the answer also. You're not trying to fool the particular examiner also in this particular way. But if you use the left hand side methods of cutting your answers or cutting your particular errors that you have done, you are definitely, I told you, the examiner is looking out for errors and faults. So you have to ensure that you cut your answers, you cut the wrong parts of your answer, but in a smart way, so that it is not visually bad for the examiner. It does not look bad to the examiner, and he gives you good marks for using a strategy which is visually appealing. Now, The other essentials that you have to always keep in mind is that you have to use time management during the examination and ensure that all the answers are properly answered. You have to attempt all the questions. You have to ensure that the time management during the examination is followed. You have to avoid all-nighters before exams, because that will actually impact your examination. You will not be 100% in the examination. You have to set your internal clock in tune with the examination a few days before. If your exam is from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the evening, so you have to ensure that for the rest before that particular period for 15 days, you have to ensure that from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the evening you are in your best form. Also, these are the various essentials, and apart from all these tips and tricks, there is a whole list of tips and tricks which the toppers use for topping in any examination. The link for all these tips, tricks, and secrets of toppers is available in this bit link that has been provided. The link is over here. You can pause the video, go to this particular link and download this particular book for free. It will help you definitely score more than 90% in examination by combining the video lessons that I have, the tips that I have discussed in the video, and the tips that are given in this particular book. You will definitely see your marks soaring like anything. If you have not liked this particular video series and if you're not subscribed it, please do subscribe to our channel and comment with your feedback and suggestions, as we keep on providing you more and more such tips, tricks and strategies so that you can score more in life and in overall your examinations. It was a pleasure interacting with you. Thank you so much.